Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Grüß euch here from Vienna and welcome to the panel discussion #AustriaCares, Austria as a responsible holiday destination. In the next 1.5 hours, we will focus on the topic of safety while on vacation in Austria against the background of COVID-19. More specifically, which safety measures have been implemented in the Austrian hotel, leisure and event industry as well as gastronomy, and which challenges are we facing regarding the upcoming winter season. For this purpose, I'm happy to welcome our very exciting guests. Markus Burscher, who will join us virtually and present an internationally unique project that Austria is implementing, the project of regular preventive testing for employees in hotels and restaurants, and soon for ski instructors. In addition to Mr. Burscher, today we invited representatives from the Ministry of Tourism, the catering and hotel industry, from ski resorts, the cable car industry, from sightseeing and the congress sector. By doing so, we want to give you a comprehensive and broad picture of the security measures that are implemented in Austria. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to my guests here in the exhibition center in Vienna. Hello, Marta Schulz. Marta Schulz is the Vice President of the Federal Economic Chamber in Austria, and she is the CEO of the Schulz Group. This includes a ski resort, hotels and gastronomy in Tyrol, in Zillertal more specifically, a winter sports area known around the globe. Hello to Julia Krenmeier. She's the co-founder and generations manager in a very special restaurant here in Vienna, the so-called Vollpension. It's a generation cafe, more about that later. Hello to Florian Felder. Florian is the head of strategy and development for Schönbrunn Palace, of course, one of the most famous sites of the world. Matthias Schattleitner, hello to Schladming-Dachstein. Matthias joins us virtually. He's the director of Schladming-Dachstein Tourism Marketing, and he's the newly appointed president of the BOETM, which is the Federal Association of Austrian Tourism Managers. Welcome, Markus Redl. Hello. Markus is an active committee member for the Austrian Cable Car Association. He also serves as CEO for the state-owned Lower Austrian Mountain Resorts, and he was appointed by the State Minister for Economic Affairs to lead tourism development in 9 mountain resorts starting 2013. Hello and welcome, Michela Schädelbauer-Zippusch. Michela is the CEO of the Austrian Convention Bureau, which is the umbrella association for the Austrian meeting business. So welcome to all of you and thanks for joining us, accepting our invitation and being part of the first virtual ATP. Before opening our discussion, I would like to ask you to bring in Markus Burscher's statement on the topic of preventive testing in Austrian tourism.
Good news, risks lie elsewhere than in tourism and culture. Hardly any hotel or restaurant is affected. Not my words, but recently quoted by an expert from Federal Ministry of Health. Bad news, as all of you know, we are in a worldwide pandemic. Our travel habits have changed and it feels that nothing is the same anymore. I do have to mention that our most challenging issues are travel warnings these days. But we are doing everything possible in order to be well prepared for the following winter and to offer our guests a fantastic holiday without kind of worries. Let's focus on solutions. Hello from my side, my name is Markus Burscher and I'm in charge of a unique COVID test screening program. It was called Sichere Gastfreundschaft and it was invented by the Federal Ministry of Tourism in Austria. Besides the well-known and useful hygiene recommendations such as hand washing, wearing masks and social distancing, we want to create a safe atmosphere and hospitality space. Therefore, the Austrian government has created a successful initiative, Sichere Gastfreundschaft, which means literally safe hospitality. Let's get into the details and the idea. The testing program is created for employees in the tourism industry, in particular for the hospitality industry. Participation is voluntary. Tests are supported and sponsored by the Federal Ministry of Tourism in Austria. These industries' employees have a lot of contact with guests from foreign countries as well as from Austrian areas. Examples of currently participating companies are hotels, hostels, restaurants, bars, and of course cafes. The testing program has started nationwide in Austria on 1st of July this year, and the program, as I said, runs really successfully. Today we are proud to present impressive figures in relation to Austrian scales. In total, they have more than 350,000 employees in over 5,000 companies been tested. We have a stable increase since the beginning, and we take, of course, this as confirmation on the initiative. For the winter season, it's important to emphasize the high testing rates in Western Europe, in Salzburg, Tyrol, the skiing areas, shown dark blue. Due to the positive feedback from the market and great demand and participation rate, we will extend the testing program for the oncoming winter season. In addition to the current participation groups, like I mentioned, hotels, hostels, camping, food service industry, the program will be extended to groups such as ski and snowboard instructors, tour guides, and private hosts. To sum it up, the more employees are being tested, the safer our guests may feel. So how does our testing program actually work? The process of the program is very simple, transparent, and doable for everyone. The employee has to register once at our website, and after successful registration, the employee receives a QR code. With the valid QR code, he is able to participate at the testing program once a week and free of charge. But what does it affect? One of the main reasons why we have started this program was to secure our tourism industry in Austria at all. The program helps to encourage the feeling of having a safe holiday in Austria, and it contributes to regain trust of our guests. Moreover, many hotels can show their efforts by publishing a label called Tested Hotels towards their guests. Let me mention a few words about the test methods, actually one of the main topics in media these days. First, what we do not intend being the better medical experts. But there are different kinds of COVID tests I have to explain, such as PCR, rapid test, antibody test, LAMP tests. For our testing strategy, we will use the well-known and highly quality standard PCR tests. PCR tests are the most accurate ones and are able to detect an infected person at an early stage. Hence, it is the most suitable test for our preventive program. In order to evaluate the conducted tests, there are 26 private organized laboratories participating in our program. And second, we are also aware of the ongoing development of rapid antigen tests. It is very important to differ them as of today from PCR tests because in terms of quality and reliability there are differences. The rapid antigen test is a great tool to detect high infected people, so-called super spreader, and to receive a fast result on site. We are working on a separate concept, mainly recommendation for a possible application area. In our opinion, these use cases could be events or testing guests in hotels, in cable cars, etc. So finally, what is our perspective? To sum it up, our goal is to promote Austria as a safe country and to motivate guests to visit our wonderful country. We extend and expand our testing program for the winter season. At the same time, we are working on a use case concept for rapid tests. Based on all these measures we take, we are convinced that we are able to offer all our guests a great winter season this year, 2020. We are doing our best to make a safe holiday in Austria possible, during these challenging times. Thank you very much for your attention. Personal advice: stay safe, wear gloves, masks, goggles, go outdoor, go skiing.
Thank you very much, Markus. I may quote you: let's focus on solutions. I think this is the most important attitude we need for the upcoming month. The statement of Mr. Burscher will also be available, of course, at our website. And I would like to open the discussion now and invite you to send us your questions via the chat, and we will gladly take these into the question and answer session in our discussion. So, Marta, I would like to kick off the discussion with you now. You run a ski resort in Tyrol with hotels, restaurants, and of course a large number of employees. We've just heard how important the topic of preventive testing is for the Austrian tourism. So how did you deal with the issue of safety? And you and your employees are involved in the preventive testing program, I think. So what advantages does this initiative have for the topic of safety? And what expectations have you been able to gain from the guest point of view?
Thank you, first of all, for the invitation. And also, great thanks to the Austrian Travel Business Organization, because in the morning I heard also from our partners, it's...
In micro.
So that's the reason why you can hear me.
Now we are connected.
I'm sorry.
No,
First of all, thank you for the invitation, and thank you for the organization of the Austrian Travel Business Virtual, because I hear it from all over the world from our partners. They say it's wonderful, a first meeting, we can talk about our programs, we can talk about the situation. Thank you to all of you and your team. And yes, we start in May with reopening our hotels and restaurants and also the cable cars. And in the meantime, during the lockdown, we're preparing with our employees a security and safety program. So first of all, on the focusing to have the social distance, also wearing mask, and a program for disinfection. But then when we open, we are one of the first in the testing program from our government, and it's important for us because the clients or the guests saw that we are on the program, and also for our employees, because it's also important that our employees feel safety. And then we organize weekly meetings and trainings for our employees, so that we increasing our safety program. And so we have a very good summertime, and now we are working to the winter season. And in this summer, in our company, we are testing weekly more than 300 employees. So.
Challenge, of course. Yeah.
But it was very good organized by our government. And thank you also to the government.
Thank you. Florian, may I come to you? A tourist attraction like Schönbrunn Palace normally attracts thousands and thousands of international guests every year. So how did you use the time when no or just a few guests were able to visit? Did you invest in the branch of innovation? Did you develop new concepts, new ideas? How did you use the time?
Yeah, we were locked down for about 2 months, from middle of March to May 15th. And we basically used the time to adjust our systems, because we knew from the beginning that once we're able to open up again, it would not be the same like before. So we thought we have to reduce the number of guests allowed into the palace. We have to make the group smaller. We have to adjust our time slot system, our visitor guidance system. So we worked on this on one side. We worked on virtual experiences, because especially in the beginning, we did not know when is it starting again. So we thought, what is there that we can do to keep the guests interested, no matter when they come back in 1 month or 1 year or 2 years. Let's show them the palace. Let's keep them interested, keep them excited. So we did some virtual tours with one of our best experts. We walked through the palace. We showed rooms that are normally not shown in the regular tours. We worked on a special Schönbrunn app So once we start again, people can use the app to experience the whole area. We worked on all our online systems and websites because we saw that there was an even further increase in online booking. So people rely on the online services to get tickets, get time slots, get information. So we worked on this. And we worked on special experiences because we saw from the feedback that came from our partners all over the world that once they come back, they're interested in other things than they were before. They're interested in exclusive experiences with small groups, maybe not always inside the palace, but also outside in the park. So there were some adjustments. And at the same time, we tried to just keep the system running because we thought, yeah, sooner or later this is going to end. People are going to come back, and we need to be here. We need to be ready, and that's what we did. And it started good in June, July, and August, better than we expected. Of course, the international guests, especially from the overseas markets, were missing, but we managed to double the number of Austrian guests and local guests. But still, not enough, and we're missing our international guests. And now with the travel restrictions in September, October, it's going down again. But we're still optimistic, looking forward to next year. And we use platforms like this. Also, again, a thank you to the Austrian National Tourist Office for hosting this to keep in touch, because we see that there is a need to keep talking, to stay in touch and to see how we can manage this. And yeah, no one knows what's coming next year.
Yeah,
everyone's hoping for the best, but we need to keep in touch. Yeah.
Sounds like a very speedy, challenging, but very creative period of time.
Very creative and very into the blue, because no one knew when is it starting again.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Matthias, may come to you. You are joining us virtually. Can you hear us? Because you seem to be frozen in Schladming. I try to. Matthias, in a winter sports destination like Schladming-Dachstein, what have been the most important issues, questions, concerns from the guest's point of view that you have dealt with over the last few weeks, and how have you solved them? Did you hear my questions? I hope so. Oh, we have a problem, a technical problem, so I may come to you, Markus Redl. In the meantime, your experiences in the field of cable cars from the summer month. What safety measures did you implement, and how were they accepted by the guests? That would be my question now to you.
Well, to state the obvious, summer's been really good. I mean, people were flocking to the mountains, and we as an industry came up with guidelines. The operators came up with their operational plans, and when you talk about compliance, it's been really good too. People were following our instructions, and I think that they also enjoyed themselves. We were able to learn a lot, because we need to learn and adapt to a new environment when it comes to the whole customer journey. I mean, online ticketing and pre-booking was already discussed. When we talk about attractions like zipline flights, it's really good to know your time slot. And cashless payment, contactless payment, queuing procedures, just anything in the whole customer journey was up for discussion, and we tried to come up with our common COVID-19 guidelines as an approach. Yeah. It seemed to work really well. I personally didn't know of any case, COVID-19 case, related to the cable car industry, so that's good. But we still, of course, need to learn a lot and improve for the upcoming winter seasons.
Okay, thank you very much. Matthias, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I hear.
Perfect. So, again, in a winter sports destination like Schladming-Dachstein, what have been the most important issues, questions, or concerns from the guest point of view that you have to deal with over the last few weeks, months, and how did you solve them?
Yeah, hello from Schladming. We have already snow on the mountains, but not so much than we see behind in the picture. But we get happy to go to the winter season, and we get a lot of questions from our guests above abroad. And the thing is, they're asking how do you handle the whole thing with the winter tourism, with skiing, with cross country, and so on? And we can say we have made a lot of considerations to have good safety regulations, and we learned a lot because in summer we had a very intensive season. We have lots of people here. We have also cable cars running all the time, so we learned a lot. And we are sure that we have a good concept to provide a safe winter holiday. We have a lot of questions to getting about lift, what do you need for the lift, but we heard about you have to wear the face mask all the time, or you can buy the ticket. So there are a lot of regulations there. And one of the most difficult things is how we handle the bookings. You know, everybody is asking how I can cancel the whole thing if there is a coronavirus, and a lot of destinations, and also we as Schlamming Daschen offer a very free booking offense. So if you book a room in our destination and
you again, Matthias. Okay, so I may continue in the meantime with Michela. Michela, we heard a lot about the subject of testing. And that is what interests many, many people. Do you know any examples of PCR, rapid testing, etc.? There was a pilot project, I think, in the last few months taking place in Vienna. Could you tell us more about that? Because that is a very important issue in the event industry, I suppose.
Yes, definitely, Claudia. So there was a great pilot project done by the Austria Center Vienna together with the University in Vienna of Economics. So they implemented rapid testing for the kickoff of the academic year of 2,000 students of the university at the Austria Center Vienna. They built up test lanes in front of the conference center and had medics positioned there to take throat swabs for these rapid tests. And I was also personally invited to have a test run through these lanes. And I like to tell how this was done. So you went there, and the medic would take the throat swab. And then you had to put some droplets of the swab on a small cassette. It was actually similar to kind of pregnancy test. Yeah? You put it on a chemical strip. And then actually, within a couple of minutes, you had the result, positive or negative. And if you had the negative result, you were able, with showing the cassette, to pass into the conference center. So actually, that was a really smooth procedure. And I think this is really a bright spot on the horizon for the event industry and also all other sectors and industries, because as we heard in the statement before, the rapid tests are something that can be organized in a faster and easier way as the PCR test, and they at least can find out those with the really high infection rates. So of course you won't have 100% security and safety of prevention, but it is a really great major step, and that is also in terms of organization really good, and also for the participant and the delegates, the experience, it was really easy. And yeah, so I think this is really a way we should go, and we need to look into more. And also I just had some calls and chats yesterday and last week with colleagues also from the provinces and other conference centers that started to implement those tests.
Okay,
and also
already.
Yeah, and also organizers that really proactively asked for these tests, and they had it worked really well, and delegates, they really liked it was really great for building trust, of course. And yeah, it's a really great additional preventive measure.
Do you have any idea concerning the timeline approval of those rapid tests?
Approval in sense of?
In sense of when can they be used broadly in conferences?
Well, you can already use them. The thing
okay,
is, at the moment, you have, so there is a manufacturer, for example, in Germany, that produced those tests that were used in the Austria Center Vienna, and you can already buy those. Okay. They're already available at the market.
So a very important solution for the future, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah. And so there's a lot of looking into and testing right now with those rapid tests. And I think this is a really great way to go.
Okay. Thank you very much. Julia, may I come to you? You own a gastronomy establishment with a very special concept because you employ senior citizens only. So how are the safety precautions here? Even more special, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I have to say it's not only senior citizens. Okay. We are an intergenerational coffee, but 50% of our employees are over 60 years old. Okay. We call them our grannies and grandpas. So for us, when this whole pandemic started, it was very challenging because we are a social business and we want to take care of our team members very well. So we had different phases of how we can open again so that our guests are safety and also our team, because for us it's kind of the same, yeah. During the summer season, we implemented all the restrictions and guidelines from Health Ministry and even more. So, for example, all the staff members needed to wear masks all summer long, even though it was not a restriction. Yeah, and we're also part of the PCR tests. What we heard from the tourism ministry. I
wanted to ask you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We like gastronomy was able to participate from September on, and we were very happy about it because we do it, and each team member goes testing every week. And for us,
many people are testing? How many?
At the moment, we are 60 persons, yes. And it's just, I can say it also from myself that I feel safer when I know, okay, I'm negative, it's all good. And it's kind of, in our team, it's like every week, people keep texting me, and the grannies like keep texting me like, yeah, I'm negative, it's so cool. So I can go work, so it's very important for us.
Okay. Matthias, I will come back to you later. Yeah. And may come back to you, Michela, because regarding the topic of major events, of course, this is a very, very difficult and important issue at the moment. So just describe a little bit under which conditions can events, congresses take place at the moment in Austria, and how creative did you have to get during the last month to create new solutions? I mean, this is an example of hybrid conferences. Did you invest in new concepts and solutions? Of course you did, I think.
Yes, we did. But let me first get back to your first question about the current regulations in Austria. So starting from upcoming Friday, we'll have, for big events, we will have limitations of delegates and participants indoor with up to 1,000 people and outdoor 1,500. If you attend an event, you have to wear the face mask all the time. You have to have a designated seat. And of course, you have to obey all the hygiene measures that are taken on site at the event. And what is special in Austria is, as a special safety measure during events and big congresses and also fairs and trade shows, is that the organizers have to create a preventive COVID-19 preventive plan. They have to write down a detailed concept about all the measures that are taken for hygiene rules and conduct, and for arrangement of visitor flows, and also about, for example, use of restrooms, and also like beverage and drinks, so this handling. So there is a really detailed plan, and then in addition, for starting at a certain amount of number, I think it's around 50. If you have more than 50 participants, you also need to have, as an organizer, a COVID-19 officer. That is a person that is in charge of to check on the compliance of all the rules for the organization, staff, and also participants. So this is in order to guarantee as safe as possible experience at the live event. So these are the regulations at the moment. And yeah, speaking about how creative did we have to get, of course, there was a lot of innovation going on over the last couple of months. And First of all, for example, locations, they had to rethink their location capacities, redraw their seating plans, change maybe also the usage of the different rooms. Then organizers and agencies and meeting professionals, for example, were looking into hybrid formats and into virtual formats as we see it here. For example, we as Austrian Convention Bureau, we organize our annual conference every year by the end of June as a live experience event and congress. And this year, we within 6 weeks, we changed to a complete virtual format. And so this was a great experience actually to learn about these formats. It's nothing new, of course, but this year what we learned is that COVID-19 has been an accelerator in terms of digitalization. And so that's actually something we are focusing now together with the meeting professionals in Austria in learning about those new formats, solutions, and hybrid and how this can go together. And also, of course, how to conduct and proceed with safe events and making the measures as livable as possible. And so there is a lot of investment taken in these parts. And of course also a lot of investment in technical equipment and internet connections to make all this happen.
Yeah. We stay in the event branch, because a topic of great interest, Florian, is also the question of Christmas markets. Austria is famous for its Christmas markets, so the first question is, will they take place this year? And if so, under what conditions?
Well, I can talk about the Christmas markets in our attractions in Schönbrunn and Schlosshof. If you ask me today, they will take place. Today is the 21st of October, exactly 1 month, 21st of November. The Christmas market in Schönbrunn is planning to open.
Is planning to open. Of course, this can change every day. We hope not, but all the organizers are planning on opening. Of course, there also will be safety measures. The stands will be separated a little bit farther away. We have a lot of place, so we make use of this place. There will be a one-way system to guide the guests around the market. There will be additional tables around the food stands. There will be additional staff to make sure that visitors follow those rules. It will be a challenge. We're optimistic that it can work. Of course, it needs the cooperation of the visitors. Whatever you do at home, at work, at school, please also do it at the market. Wear a mask, wash your hands, keep a distance to the others. Then we're sure that it can work. So the market in Schönbrunn and the market in Schlosshof will be opening, and we hope that this will be a nice Christmas experience despite all the corona situations. So food stands are planned?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Marta, I'll come back to you. Security measures are implemented everywhere, also in your ski resort. So what measures are you particularly focusing on for the upcoming winter seasons? What new insights came from the summer season, which will now be implemented for the winter?
Yeah, we take the time during the summer that we have meetings with the stakeholders and also the government and the experts from our economic chamber to find solutions or to find the balance between well-being feeling for our guests, high protection in healthy, and also our economic survival. And I think we find solutions everywhere, and one of the topics is to wear the masks, to keep the distance, and also the different kinds of disinfections in our areas. So we're increasing all these things, and but one drop of bitterness we will have in this winter time. So you know the après-ski, and they are very famous in Austria, all over the world. But this winter we will have other part of après-ski. We are sitting in the bars. We take a wonderful glass of wine, for example, from the Austrian vineyards, and have fine music background. So this is the possibilities for après-ski in this winter time. But we find solutions altogether for the Christmas markets, because you know they are very famous all over the world. Also in Innsbruck or in other countries, and also city trips in wintertime, they are very famous. And yes, and the skiing areas are waiting for the guests. And we do the security, what we can do. So, but the topics are wear the masks and keep the distance, and what is from all partners importance, take care. I think that's one of our topics.
Yeah. So everybody of us is part of the safety conditions during the winter, of course. Matthias, hi again. The winter in Schladming-Dachstein. How will the winter work for your guests this year? Because as Martha said, there are of course new and different conditions. Usually, the most important question is there snow? Will there be snow? This year, it's all about dealing with topics like wearing face masks in the cable cars, or as Martha mentioned, new concepts for après-ski. Just a few words from your region.
Yes, I think the rules are very simple, because everybody used the rules in the whole day in their original country. And so it shouldn't be a problem if you go to holiday to Austria. And Austria has to be a very safe country, and it's always been a very safe country. So do we are in Schladming-Dachstein, because we are a very central region. We have a lot of stakeholders from cable cars. They have their own concepts. We have skiing huts. They have safety regulations, new ones. We met them last week, and everybody is willing to do the very best to make the safety regulations very, very clear for the customers and also for the skiing huts, restaurants. And if you compare the settings from a big city in Europe, from a metropolitan region, I would say it's more safer to go skiing in Austria if you are in the free area, in the snow area, in your fresh air. You have wide range of landscape. You have a lot of space. So it's, at my opinion, it's more safe to go skiing in Austria, especially in Schladming-Dachstein, than to go in underground or take a bus in a big city where a lot of people are. So I think the holiday is a very important thing to get you get new impacts. You have the nature, you have the snow. You spoke about the snow. The first snow is already here, and we have a glacier in our destination. There are a lot of people going skiing and cross-country treks. And I would say this winter will be a very special winter, because we have new rules, new settings. And I think, why not make an après-ski a little bit quieter, sitting on a nice table, as Martha spoke before, drink a good bottle of wine and stay safe. And we prepare all the things. And a lot of people I think will do new things in their winter holiday. We're preparing a lot of new hiking trails. Also on the top of the mountain, you can go up with the cable car and walk around if you don't like skiing, for example, because there are a lot of people, they cannot go to a destination like Thailand or the Caribbean Sea. So they can use to go to Austria. And we have new products also for people who are not willing to ski. And I think Austria is set up for everything. And we really know our responsibility to our customers. And also, the winter will be very hard, but if you think about the next few weeks and months, I would be very optimistic that it will be a great winter time here in Austria.
So boost of innovation in every sector we have heard now. Julia, coming back to you, regulation is one very important issue these days. So which regulations do you apply in the catering trade? And of course, I think the guests do accept them. I hope so, yeah?
Yeah. Vienna was the first region in Austria who implemented the guest registration. So every guest has to leave name and contact details with us. And I have to say that this is working very well. What we do as a cafe, that we try to make it as easy as possible. So we have sheets, paper, or you can do it online, which also goes very fast. Yes, and our experience is that this is no problem at all.
And you have to keep this information, I think, 20 days?
Yeah, it's 28 days, I think. And it's safe with us, so all the paperwork is collected every day, and so no one can look at it. So also the data is safe, and after these 28 days, we delete it. Yeah.
Okay, so the acceptance is high from the guests' point of view. Circle back to the winter, Mr. Redl. Usually there are crowds of people at the cable cars, at the lifts, at the ticket offices. This year, how are you going to avoid the crowdings? Do you have a concept? What do you do to keep the distance?
I'd like to reiterate what Martha and Matthias have already said. There are two fundamental rules. One is to wear a mask. And by the way, this would be something you would do anyways if the weather is bad. And keep the social distance. So these are the two rules also from a legal point of view. We as Austrian Cable Car Association came up with a concept for winter, same as we did for summer. It's a comprehensive set of guidelines, and all of our resorts are working with the guidelines and implementing their operational plans. It's very important that ski resorts are teamwork. So it's not just the lift operators, it's the ski schools who came up with their own guidelines, it's the ski rental businesses with their own guidelines, it's the restaurants, and so on and so on. So for example, we in Lower Austria, we do this together as a team for each and every resort, because only if we have the whole customer journey, if we have the whole process COVID-19 clean, then we will be successful. So by the way, winter has already started, as Matthias has mentioned. Skiing is already going on up on the mountains, and I think this winter will be all about capacity management. You need to guide your guests, because we don't need to have our lunch at noon, all of us. But there are many other opportunities. We can come up with a little bit more faster lift operations. We can come up with more night sessions. We can add to the products that we already offer. And it's all about capacity management. We know that, and we are working on it, and so far so good.
So, for example, do I have to book my lunch beforehand, or in the?
Well, if you can, you should certainly do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because it gives you a nice, cozy place, and you can feel safe about it. On the other hand, I think in most ski resorts we have plenty of opportunity to enjoy your lunch, to enjoy après-ski in a COVID-19 compatible way. So I wouldn't worry too much about not being able to sit down and have lunch. But I also expect that some people will take their own food and their own drinks, and we are totally fine with that. The important thing is that you go out, that you enjoy yourselves, that you're having a good time, because it's good for you, it's good for your health. I mean, it's not just about the business, of course. It's our business, and we have to survive, as Martha said. But if you really want to boost your immune system, go out and go skiing, enjoy yourself with your family, with your best friends. What else could you do?
Thank you. I may switch to the questions I got in the question corner now, and the first question goes to Martha. I would like to find out about safety measure implemented in hotels and mountain huts against COVID-19.
I think the best is you go to the www.sicheregastfreundschaft.at. It's the homepage from our government, tourism government, and here you find the answers from the question. But I think all of my colleagues in the hotels are also in the by the skiing area, and we have on the homepages the links implemented that you find the solutions and the answers for these questions. And so we learn weekly, and we are every week we implemented the new informations on these homepages.
Yeah. Okay, we will post the link on the virtual ATP homepage as well. The next question to Matthias, please. We have
yes.
a question from the Netherlands. How are we going to deal with Reisewarnungen, restrictions? We can see that Austria is doing everything possible to make it safe, but guests don't want to book as they are too afraid that there will be restrictions.
I totally understand the question, and we made a lot of thoughts about this topic because it's the most important topic for the hotels in our destination, how to get bookings and how to save the bookings over the next weeks and months. And we built up a new initiative. The name is Very Free Booking. If you book in Schladming-Dachstein in a hotel or an apartment, and you have normally the most of the hotels and apartments are part of this initiative, then you have the very free booking offer. That means that you can cancel your booking if there are some reasons, like the Corona warning light in Austria is red and we have to lock down the cable cars or the hotels. Then you can cancel for free. Or if you have a positive Corona test yourself, then you can cancel for free, at least at the last day of arrival. So the last day of arrival. Or if you have a travel problem that the border is closed down, or that the foreign minister of the guest's home country has issued a travel warning of every 6 at the moment, for example, then you can also cancel for free. That's our thing of coulant way to go with the customer and the hotel both together. It's a very difficult winter season, but we want to support the hotels, but support also the customers. And with the Very Free Booking initiative, we can ensure that nobody has to pay money if the person cannot come to our wonderful destination. So I think a lot of other destinations in Austria do the same. And especially this winter, we also recommend to make travel insurance for cancellation as add-on for additional safety.
Yeah, due to those restrictions, you have to find solutions very quickly. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Coming back to Florian, a question to you. How are you staying in touch with the international event organizers, tour operators and partners? And what questions do they ask? What is their main concern?
We use platforms like these. Our colleagues from the sales team, actually one of them is right now in some calls with the ATB Virtual. We use workshops like organized by the Austrian National Tourist Office and Vienna Tourism Board. Also those new, very creative virtual platforms, we think they work pretty good. We're on the phone a lot. We improved our IT systems to make some Zoom calls. We learned to do this. And our colleagues from the sales team also were on some real sales trips to Austria, Germany, and some of them in Hungary and the Slovak Republic. And we just see that it's very important to keep in touch. There's a need to stay in touch from the side of our partners. They want to know how we are doing. We are interested in how they are doing. There's a lot of insecurity about the future. Regarding the questions they ask about the Christmas markets in the following weeks, but they also ask about next year and when they will be able to book groups again. Some of them ask, when are you opening again? So especially in the international overseas markets, it's not clear to them that we are open. So they ask a lot about cancellation policies, which we understand, because I think this is a trend that has come to stay, that people are not booking for 2 years in advance. They're waiting on what is happening, and so they're interested in cancellation policies. And of course, we try to find solutions with all our partners and to support them in this case. And they ask for special experiences that we came up with, maybe not inside but outside, maybe not in large groups but in small groups. So there are specific questions. There are some booking inquiries for next year, but our booking system is not open yet because we frankly have to tell them, if you ask us now, the limit is 5 guests plus a guide per group, which will not be enough for most of those groups next year. So we're waiting on the developments. We're waiting to see how this group size is changing. We expect it to change and to go up, but we can't tell for sure, of course. So it's just a lot of talking, a lot of staying in touch, and telling them we're here for you. We need them to come back. We're waiting for them to come back, and they need us to give them chances to come to Austria and experience holidays here. So it's a lot of talking. It's a lot about it's like therapy with some of them.
It seems to be a new quality in connectivity and networking.
Yes, and yeah, that's I think that's one of the most important things about partnerships. That also in a case like this, you keep talking, you stay in touch, and we're not doing great. They're not doing great, so we're all on the same ship, so to say. And we try to find solutions for the future. And actually, we're working on 21, 22. It has to be better someday.
Yeah. New solutions. Michela, may I come back to you? Another question. What are your expectations for the future? And in terms of, are you heading towards hybrid events? Is that the solution for the future?
Yeah, first of all, I think what's really important for all of us is in future or right now, we have to think in various scenarios. We have to have our plan A and our plan B at hand. And of course, also it's really difficult times at the moment for us and also for events that we don't know for sure what will happen within the next couple of months. But what we can do is we can invest in learning also about the new formats and all those safety procedures. And regarding your question about hybrid, so hybrid events, I strongly believe they are here to stay. As I said before, it's actually nothing new, especially not in the meeting industry. So there have been hybrid meetings before, but of course now there's a real strong focus on it, and professionals are now gaining a lot of new knowledge about that, and I think this is really a way we have to go, because this can be our plan B. What we have also learned in the last couple of months, when we had again physical conferences and events, participants, they were just so happy to see their colleagues and their friends again in full, like in color, without the square around their heads. So that's why so our physical meetings, they will stay, but we will need to embrace the digital possibilities we have, and to connect those both worlds with another. And so I strongly believe that we actually, hopefully when this crisis we have all passed behind us, we will have learned a lot of more things, and that will also be really good also for the terms of climate, for example, all those questions, sustainability within the meeting sector, for example. Yeah. So
those new hybrid concepts, do you work internationally on these concepts? I mean, in terms of cooperation between countries, or is that a national issue?
Well, it's definitely an issue at the moment, also a national issue. So also to consider for national conferences, for example, because sometimes, some companies, they won't allow that their employees go to a conference, for example, and they have to stay within home office. So already here on national area, it's a really good solution. And there are also these formats called multi-site hybrid meetings. So multi-hubs, which is a really great solution to connect spots, hubs from different countries with each other. So you have a main hub in one country and several side hubs in other countries that you can interconnect. And at each hub you have physical attendance of a certain amount of delegates and participants, but you can connect them virtually with an even higher participants and delegates, and so interconnect also in case you have travel restrictions, for example, and still have some physical meetings going on in the dedicated regions. So they're really exciting new formats opening up now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming back to those details, Marta, Michela just mentioned, another question, what concrete safety and hygiene measures are implemented in wellness facilities? And the other point is there any upper limit of the number of people who can stay in the pool sauna at the same time?
There are special hygienic standards what we implemented in the last months, and they are limited. It depends on the pool, on the size of the pool, and also the size of the saunas. And it's impossible that everyone take care. For example, in our hotel, we post the number of the possibilities who can take. They can inside go in the sauna or in the pools, and it's
kind of a life ticker.
Yeah. Okay. But I was very happy because the clients take these informations and they take care, and so all together with our employees we find good solution, and the clients have a well-being feeling and can take the wellness parts in our hotel. But it's sometimes, and important is the testings we heard from the total customer journey. It's also for the cable cars, it's important for the ski hires, in the ski hire, so it's important for the winter season that all members of the customer journey take the possibilities for testing. And we got this information that when we start the winter seasons, that all can take the preventive tests. So I think we will have a fine winter season possibility to have the nature, to have the inspiration of the nature, and we know that our skiers and guests want to have this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. We stay in the winter, Matthias. Yeah.
Yes.
And the next questions I would like to ask you is: will there be ski courses? Ski courses, and if so, are there any restrictions? And the second question is: will ski rental be possible this year as well?
Yeah, a ski rental is easily possible because it's the same that you go for shopping, you buy some goods. So ski rental is normally possible, like you experienced in the last season. Maybe a little bit more space to the other person. You have to wear a mask. Yeah. So there are no restrictions in the ski rental area. The ski lessons, the ski schools have a lot of other things to do because normally work in a group. You have a lot of people in the group. The skiing instructor works directly. So there are some regulations you have to fulfill. One point is to reduce the size of the group, that you have not so big ski lesson group, and you have to register all the persons you have in the ski group if there is something with the coronavirus, and you have to wear a mask if there is a contact below 1 meter or below 2 meters, that you have to fulfill the safety regulations. But we are sure that the package for ski lessons and ski schools is very good and fulfill all safety regulations we need to have a safe winter trip.
In my mind, the preventive testing program is extended to ski instructors as well.
Yeah, that's right. Also, the ski instructors can be tested in the program of the government. So it's good that they are also included in the program because these are the people, they are in direct contact with our customers.
I have another question in the chat to Markus Redl. Can there be transport restrictions on the mountain railroads, and must I expect longer waiting times?
Not necessarily. I mean, we have two different kinds of ski resorts in Austria. You have very modern, top-notch, state-of-the-art, world-class infrastructures. I mean, Austrian ski resorts are probably the most modern when it comes to the Doppelmayrs and Leitners of the world. So you have huge transport capacities. And when I said early on, it's all about capacity management, what I also meant is you have to distribute the crowds. And we can do that. I mean, we can steer our guests so that they have a safe experience and do not experience, as you said, waiting times or excessive waiting times. But of course, what you need to do is you need to follow the instructions of our staff. If they ask you to queue in a certain way, you would certainly comply. The other resorts that we have usually close by to cities are resorts with a lot of T-bars, with a lot of, open chair lifts. So they do not have gondolas or these fast-paced, high-capacity ski lifts. And so you don't have any of the issues that you might have with gondolas or so on. So actually, I'm looking forward to this winter as a learning experience for the whole industry. How can we use the existing infrastructure in a more efficient way?
So some things will stay, I guess.
Definitely.
After Corona too, yeah?
Definitely.
Because there will be a time after Corona.
I mean, just look at the whole issue of pickup points. So we've had these systems in place for years, but our experience was that our guests didn't really like to pre-book or pre-buy the tickets, because it was a way of life. You know, you wait for the weather on a particular day, and then you go to the ski lift, and you always knew that you would get your ticket. But in a situation like we have, many people pre-book, pre-buy. And then you go with your QR code and pick up your tickets. You don't even need to go to the ticket point. And to be quite open, that also helps us with our operational processes. So the more business we can do online, the better.
Okay, thank you. Another question for Matthias from the Netherlands again. What is your opinion on group travel, and will it be possible?
That's a good question. There are a lot of things to clear about the governments, but the group traveling, like buses, maybe. The bus is a public transport. You use it also in a city to use it from station A to station B. So it's also possible to use the bus from Netherlands to Austria. I would say it's the same setting and it should be possible. And in the hotel sector, you need the same regulations you have at home, that you have book a room only for people who are in the same household. Yeah, that's maybe a topic we are not sure at the moment how we handle this if there are big apartments. But we saw it also in summer. It was also a big question for summer season. And we saw that it works very well also with big groups of bus transportation companies. They took the bus with 50 persons, everybody wear the mask. And I think in sum up, it was a very good summer also with group traveling. And for that, I would be very optimistic also for the winter travel with groups.
Okay. Marta, your opinion on the group travel? Yes?
It's possible.
Yeah.
For the transport, it's like in a bus or in the cable cars. You need the mouth mask, and it's also possible to share rooms. But take care and think on the 3 points. Keep distance, wear the mouth mask, and that's the important things. But it's possible.
It's possible. Okay. face masks. Coming back to Julia, a question for you: is it compulsory to wear face mask on the way to the tables now in the restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to wear your face mask when you enter a restaurant or a cafe or a bar till you are at the table, and then you can take it off and enjoy. Yes.
And the guests are reasonable and understanding, I guess, because face masks is worn everywhere now.
Yeah, you have to wear them everywhere. So I would say most of the time it's like we are used to it. This thing, the mask will be with us the next, I don't know, half year or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think that's a big issue.
Right. Florian, another question to you, a very specific question. How did you realize this year's Winter Philharmonic Summer night concerts in the garden of Schönbrunn Palace?
Very specific question. Well, it was quite different. Normally, this concert has about 100,000 viewers live at the park.
It took place in
now about a month ago, middle of September. Regularly, it should have been in May.
Mm-hmm.
So under normal conditions, about 100,000 viewers in the park. This time it was 1,250 guests. Most of the tickets were raffled online to give at least some people the experience of seeing the Vienna Philharmonics live. It was very different, but it was important to send out this message that there is something going on. Also, culture is going on. There is a way to experience culture even during COVID. It worked fine. There were no cases tracked back to this concert. It was a different experience, but it was a good experience, and it was also important because it was being sent out to the world via TV. We know that millions are watching, millions are waiting for this concert, and it was important that it took place. We hope that next year it will be in a different setting again. To be honest, I don't think it will be 100,000 viewers next year in May, but it should be more than 1,250. But the most important thing was to show culture, to live culture, and to send it out to the world as a message that we're here. And we're waiting for you to come back.
Yeah. Okay, Marta Schulz, another question for you. We talked about security measures, but are there special security seals for companies that you can look out for when booking accommodation?
Yeah, it is so that for the security for booking accommodation is the 3 points, and I think it's important that all my colleagues in the tourism industry take care. And we have also solutions for pre-booking and for cancellations, and I think it's important now that we give our clients or guests the security that they can make pre-booking, but if there is anything that they have a cancellation possibilities, but we hope also for the winter time that our clients can book and can come.
Yeah, sure. So we are at the end of the questions now from the chat. Final round, the most important thing for each of you for the upcoming weeks, month. What is on top of the agenda? Florian?
Well, for us, the top of the agenda is staying positive and optimistic. Of course, everybody knew that the fall, September, October, November will be hard again. There are two things that keep us optimistic. It was the summertime, which was better than we expected.
Yeah, true.
We saw that people are waiting to come back, they're waiting to travel, and this is the second reason to be optimistic. I personally think that global free travel is one of the greatest achievements of our times, and people are waiting to come back to travel, to see other places. And we see it from the questions we get for next year, for 22, 23. We have to get through this somehow. We hope for a little bit better Christmas season, whether there are markets or not. But then we have to be optimistic and look into the future and find ways to get back on track. And we are optimistic, and we try to share this optimism with our partners.
Thank you. Kayla?
Well, I definitely support that. It's really important to share optimism also with the partner and within the networks. And for us, for example, in the Austrian Convention Bureau, we're focusing now within the next couple of months, when not too many events unfortunately can happen, in learning and engaging the network, exchanging knowledge about all those, how to keep the event safe and how to manage those different scenarios, build up knowledge about the hybrid formats. And also there's right now very important information also for event organizers. Austria will offer a contingent liability or so-called financial protective shield for the events industry. So the plan is that organizers start planning their events, because as we know, events have a longer lead time of not only a couple of months, sometimes half a year or even more. And so they start planning again. So we have events next year, and in case of COVID-19 decrease in or cancellation, they can get back the costs that have already been invested. So
Yeah,
this is a very important project done right now by the Austrian government together with meeting professionals and event professionals. And so this is also a good ray of hope. And yeah, so staying positive, and I think for everyone personally, also do things that you like and enjoy. Take also breaks from time to time from these times, and yeah, do more things that you like, and go skiing. Take some fresh air.
Markus.
Just was gonna say, go skiing. Yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to a long winter season or ski season, because some of our resorts are already operating and in operation up until April or even May. So it's important in changing environments that we keep on improving, keep on adapting to the environment. And we do that through cooperation, through the Austrian Cable Car Association on the one hand, and we also do that through cooperation at the local ski resort level, because as I said before, operating a ski resort is definitely a team sport. It's not just us as lift operators, but it's the whole range of businesses. And we are in this together.
We are in this together, right? Marta, as entrepreneur and as vice president, your top of the agenda points?
Yeah. For all of us, take care that we can reduce the infections first. And on second, we hope we get a wonderful winter time with a lot of snow, with romantic Christmas markets. And I think for all of my colleagues in the tourism business, I will say we are the #1 in the hygiene and safety reports worldwide. And we will continue this.
Yeah. So, Julia.
Yes, I think staying flexible in the mind, and also with all the things we are implementing for the safety for our guests, and also staying innovative, because we also went online, so we also try to bring our grannies also to the internet, so people can visit us also there.
Okay, very good. Matthias, your most important.
A lot of been said. I think the most important point is to support our partners at the moment in the travel industry, but also the partners in our destination, to prepare the stakeholders for a very hard winter, but to be professional all the time, to stay healthy and to stay safe totally, and to be creative, to make new products, to be innovative. Like I said before, we built new hiking trails and horse sleigh trails, because we know and we expect that the people are using other things this season than the last years. And be optimistic, definitely, but not be afraid, because some people say, oh, it's very dangerous. No, it's not more dangerous than to live in the city or live in another country. So Winter holiday is healthy because you're in the fresh air. And that's the point everybody said before, let's go skiing, let's go for cross-country track, or let's go for a horse sleigh in a wonderful winter landscape in wonderful Austria, because Austria is safe. And yeah, we have to convince our customers and stay together, stay strong, and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big challenge, but we all hope to stay optimistic. Thank you very much to all of you. We have reached the end of our discussion, and I would like to thank all participants here in Vienna, and of course our virtual guests. I hope we were able to give you a comprehensive picture of how responsible the Austrian hosts are preparing for the coming weeks and months in order to give our guests as much security and orientation as possible. We have also collected additionally a lot of questions, and we will answer them in our chat afterwards. So I would like to thank you here in Vienna. I would like to thank you out there for watching and listening. And of course, the most important thing is stay healthy. And we all hope to see you soon back in Austria. Thank you very much.
Let's go.